So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Scream 3, 2000 U.S. slasher film directed by Wes Craven, written by Aaron Kruger. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Surprised me. The movie poster says, "The most terrifying scream is always the last." It stars Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Parker Posey, Patrick Dempsey, Scott Foley, Lance Henriksen, Matt Kiesler, Jenny McCarthy, Emily Mortimer, Dion Richmond, and Patrick Warburton. Most of these actors, except for Courtney, most of these actors, except for Lance Henriksen, are horrible. And unfortunately, there are plenty of knife scenes, although the first two are supposed to be more violent. Released as the third installment in the Scream franchise, it was originally the concluding chapter of the series until the franchise was revived in 2011, 11 years later with the sequel Scream 4. There's also a Scream 5 and a Scream 6. The film takes place 3 years after the previous film and follows Sidney Prescott Campbell, who has gone into self-imposed isolation following the events of the previous two films, but is drawn to Hollywood after a new Ghostface begins killing the cast of the film within the film Stab 3. Scream 3 combines the violence of the slasher genre with comedy and whodunit mystery while satirizing the cliche of film trilogies. Unlike the previous Scream films, there was an increased emphasis on comedic elements. In this installment, the violence and horror were reduced in response to increased public scrutiny about violence in media following the Columbine High School massacre. Oh, God. I only got one shift this morning from my independent contractor. I didn't get a double because Good Eggs is not giving them a double. So we got 2 phone interviews and 1 appointment with a guy who wants to see my DMV record for a delivery driver job. It pays $24 an hour plus overtime, Monday through Friday. I'm interested in that job. If I could just work one job, have Saturday and Sunday off, not work graveyard anymore, I'd be in good shape. All right. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. I was going to work for the independent contractor, but I had too much stuff going on with prospective employers tomorrow. So I called out. And I just took a 2-hour nap. So I was able to get through Scream 3. I'm pretty impressed with myself. I haven't been working much, but I've been catching up on the Netflix DVDs here. The film takes place 3 years after the previous film. Oh, I already said that. Scream screenwriter Kevin Williamson provided a 5-page outline for 2 sequels to Scream when auctioning his original script, hoping to entice bidders with the potential of buying a franchise. Williamson's commitments to other projects meant he was unable to develop a complete script for Scream 3, so writing duties were undertaken by Kruger, who discarded many of Williamson's notes. Craven and Marco Beltrami returned to direct and score the film, respectively. Production was trouble with script rewrites, occasions when pages were only ready on the day of filming, scheduling difficulties with the main cast. Principal photography took place for from July to September 1999, and the ending was refilmed in January 2000. Scream 3 premiered on February 3rd, 2000 in Westwood, Los Angeles, and it was theatrically released the following day, grossing $162 million worldwide on a budget of $40 million. The film received mixed reviews and is often cited as the weakest installment of the series. I'd like to see the first two. Or the fourth, or the fifth, or the sixth. Cotton Weary, now a host of a successful talk show, is contacted by Ghostface on his car phone. The voice demands to know the whereabouts of Sidney Prescott. When Cotton refuses to cooperate, Ghostface breaks into his home and Ghostface attacks his girlfriend Christine. Cotton rushes home only for Christine to think he was behind the attack. As he tries to reason with her, Ghostface kills Christine, then Cotton, telling him he should have revealed Sidney's location. He lost the game. Detective Mark Kincaid contacts Gail Weathers to discuss the recent murders, prompting her to travel to Hollywood, where she finds Dewey Riley. This hairspray mustache guy, played by David Arquette, has to be the worst acting I've ever seen. And I don't mean that in a good way. Working as an advisor on the set of Stab 3, the third film in the series based on the Ghostface murders. Ghostface kills Stab 3 actress Sarah Darling, causing production of Stab 3 to be halted. The remaining Stab 3 cast, along with Dewey and Gale, gather at the home of Jennifer Jolie. Ghostface murders her boyfriend, and he uses a gas leak to cause an explosion, which kills fellow actor Tom Prince. We like the explosion in this movie. Sidney Prescott has a Creed poster, and then you hear the Creed song during the rolling credits. Talk about cross-promoting. Sidney is living in seclusion as a crisis counselor for an abused women's hotline, hearing that another killer may strike. Having discovered Sidney's location, the killer begins taunting her by phone using a voice changer to sound like her deceased mother, Maureen Prescott, forcing her out of hiding and drawing her to Hollywood. Martha Meeks, the sister of Sidney's friend Randy, who was murdered while Sidney was in college, visits Sidney and the others to deliver a videotape that Randy made before his death, posthumously warning them that the rules of a horror film do not apply to anyone in the third and final film of a horror trilogy, that any of them, including main character Sidney, could die. Sidney is later attacked by Ghostface at a movie set, forcing the police to keep Sidney safe at their station. Dewey, Gale, Jennifer, and the remaining Stab 3 cast, Angelina and Tyson, attend a birthday party for Stab 3's director, Roman Bridger. After Gale discovers Roman's body in the basement, Ghostface attacks the group, seemingly murdering Angelina when she wanders off alone, and successfully kills Tyson and Jennifer. The killer then orders Sidney to the mansion to save Gale and Dewey, who are being held hostage. When Sidney arrives, Ghostface lures her inside, where Gale and Dewey are bound and gagged. As Sidney is freeing them, Ghostface appears, though Sidney gains the upper hand using a hidden gun to fight him off. Kincaid shows up, but he is knocked unconscious by Ghostface. Sidney flees and hides in a secret screening room where she is discovered by Ghostface, who reveals himself as Roman, having survived being shot by wearing a bulletproof vest. I thought Gale discovered Roman's body in the basement in some coffin, but now he shows up as Ghostface. I don't get it. Roman admits to being Sidney's half-brother, born to their mother Maureen when she was an actress in Hollywood 4 years prior. He had tried reuniting with her only for her to reject him due to him being the product of rape. Bitter over the rejection, Roman began stalking her, filming all the men she philandered with, showing Billy Loomis the footage of Billy's father with Maureen, which motivated Billy and Stu Macher to kill her, thus setting off the string of murders in Sidney's hometown and at her college. When he discovered how much fame Sidney had attracted due to those events, Roman snapped and lured Sidney out of hiding, planning to kill her and frame her for the murders. After Roman kills Stab producer John Milton, who he implies is his biological father and one of their mother's rapists, Sidney ferociously denounces him. John Milton is played by Lance Henriksen, one of the few good acting roles in this one. You also see Carrie Fisher. What's she doing in this? Sidney ferociously denounces Roman and his motives, provoking an enraged Roman to engage Sidney in a vicious fight, which ends when Roman shoots Sidney in the chest, but Sidney survives the shot because she's wearing Kevlar, and she stabs Roman multiple times, revealing to him that she too was wearing a bulletproof vest. As Dewey and Gale arrive, a screaming Roman suddenly resurfaces with a knife. Sidney yells at Dewey to shoot Roman in the head, which Dewey does, finally killing him. Sometime after, at Sidney's house, Dewey proposes to Gale, who accepts. Who would want to marry that guy? Courtney Cox? Sidney returns from a walk and leaves her gates, which were previously shown to be alarmed, open. She enters her home and she is invited to join Dewey, Gale, and Kincaid to watch a movie. We don't know what the movie is. I like the plot twist in this. I like the knife scenes. I like the explosion. Anyways, Adrian was in the chat room for 5 seconds while I was reading off Wikipedia. He says, sorry, no time to chat, mate. I will watch your review later. Okay. Well, I'm not saying highly recommended or check it out, but I am saying it's better than I expected. For some reason, Netflix thought I was going to rate it 2 out of 5 stars. I thought the beginning of the movie was decent, but then it started going downhill, and I was thinking, oh man, this is another 2 out of 5 stars movie. But it started to pick up the pace with the kill scenes. It was all right. It was pretty decent. I'm not saying it was bad or mediocre or great. I'm saying it's somewhere in between mediocre and great. The acting was bad. The dialogue was bad. Jenny McCarthy was supposed to be playing the dumb blonde. She doesn't know the difference between Vertigo and Psycho. That was supposed to be funny. I didn't laugh. I was just staring at her breasts, her cleavage. Anyways, there's a ton of bonus features on this disc. It's I got the Scream 3 Collector's Edition. So I'll probably watch some more of that after I take a little nap. I'm going to try to take a bunch of naps tomorrow. I'm going to stay off the energy drink until I go to my graveyard job. I'm down to 4 energy drinks, but I ordered 10 more. Hopefully they'll arrive on Friday. Cross my fingers. But I don't have to stay awake with energy drink as much because my work schedule got really toned down ever since I got laid off from Good Eggs, and I got this independent contractor job, only 4 routes a week. I was doing like I was doing like 7 routes a week, so my schedule got toned down considerably. And I told the dispatcher I told her that this is what I get for working 6 years at Good Eggs. And I saw Stephanie, but she just said, "Hi, Ben, good morning." And then she went running around like a chicken with his head cut off in the warehouse. But might be the last day that I ever saw Stephanie. Today is the last day that I ever saw her, but she's more concerned about her work than she is about me. Story of my life. Anyways, I got my DMV printout. I had one moving violation in 2000, but I can explain what happened there. I went from 2020 vision to 2050 vision, back to 2020 vision. But when I went back to 2020 vision, I had the 2050 night driving glasses and made my vision blurry. So the police officer pulled me over and gave me a ticket. And I explained to them what happened, but they didn't care. They still convicted me with the traffic violation. And then I had the carpool violation, which is not a traffic violation. But anyways, it's going to be hard for them to not hire me tomorrow because it is going to be long hours. Not too many people want to work 10, 12-hour days, but I do. So I should be able to get the job tomorrow. I'm keeping a positive outlook. Right? Cool. Yeah, 4 to 5 stars. Impressive. The film set a record in its opening in February 2000 for the number of screens in the United States with 3,467, which also made it the 7th widest opening for an R-rated film. This was surpassed the same year in May by Mission Impossible 2 with 3,653. The film earned 34.7 million during its opening weekend, ranking number 1 at the box office. It is the 11th highest grossing opening weekend in a February. It went on to accrue 89.1 million in the US and 72.7 million in other territories, with a world lifetime gross of 161.8 million. Anyways, It's kind of ironic that the Scream's film's executive producer Harvey Weinstein had his own behavior exhibited as themes of abuse in this film. In other words, you have to have sex with the producer in order to get a role in his films. So Lance Henriksen was actually playing Harvey Weinstein in this one. All right. Well, I showed you my discs. Unfortunately, I won't be getting Netflix for a while because of the President's Day holiday here. Where was President Biden? He was in Ukraine. He wasn't in East Palestine with with that ecological disaster worse than the Love Canal. So Republicans were all over him, telling him he should have been in East Palestine or southern border. Illegal immigration. I'm not a opponent of illegal immigration. But at least it's not a big deal, as big of a deal as Republicans make it out to be, but it does have an impact on our culture here in the United States. There's no doubt about it. Certainly gets more Democrats voting here in the United States. Anyways, we're all doomed, man. I'm doomed. If I don't get a job tomorrow, I'm doomed. Laters.